President Donald Trump has never been one to shy away from bold moves. His latest initiative, the creation of a U.S. sovereign wealth fund. This unexpected announcement has sent shockwaves through the financial world, raising questions about its purpose, its funding, and its potential impact on the global stage. Trump, known for his unconventional approach to economic policy, has framed the fund as a tool for fiscal sustainability and economic dominance. The executive order, signed on February 3, 2025, outlines a vision of a fund designed to secure America's financial future. It aims to reduce the burden on taxpayers, ensure economic stability for generations to come, and solidify America's position as a global economic leader. But the details remain murky, leaving experts and citizens alike to speculate about the fund's true intentions and its likelihood of success. The move comes as a surprise to many, as sovereign wealth funds are more commonly associated with smaller, resource-rich nations. These countries, often with significant budget surpluses, use these funds to invest their excess wealth and generate long-term returns. The United States, on the other hand, has been grappling with substantial budget deficits, making the creation of such a fund an intriguing, if perplexing, development. The announcement has sparked a flurry of debate and speculation. Is this a shrewd move by a president known for his business acumen? Or is it a risky gamble with potentially far-reaching consequences? Only time will tell how this latest chapter in the Trump presidency will unfold. Perhaps the most eye-catching aspect of Trump's announcement is the potential use of the sovereign wealth fund to purchase TikTok. The popular social media app, owned by Chinese company ByteDance, has been at the center of a storm of controversy, with the Trump administration raising concerns about data security and potential Chinese government influence. Trump's interest in acquiring TikTok is not new. In 2020, he threatened to ban the app in the United States unless it was sold to an American company. While that ban was ultimately blocked in court, the underlying concerns about data privacy and national security have lingered. Now, with the creation of the Sovereign Wealth Fund, Trump sees an opportunity to not only address these concerns but also to potentially turn a profit for the United States. By bringing TikTok under American ownership, the administration hopes to alleviate fears of data misuse and ensure that the app's vast user base is not subject to foreign influence. However, the proposed acquisition raises a number of questions. How much would the U.S. government be willing to pay for TikTok? Would ByteDance be open to selling to the U.S. government and under what conditions? And what would the implications be for free speech and data privacy if the U.S. government were to become the owner of a major social media platform? Beyond the potential TikTok acquisition, the Sovereign Wealth Fund is also being touted as a means to invest in American infrastructure and expand U.S. influence on the global stage. Trump has long championed the need for infrastructure improvements, promising to rebuild America's roads, bridges, airports, and other critical infrastructure. The fund, according to the administration, would provide a dedicated source of funding for these ambitious projects, creating jobs and boosting economic growth. Moreover, it could be used to finance strategic investments in developing countries, strengthening alliances and countering the influence of China and other rivals. However, the details of how the fund will be financed remain unclear. Trump has previously floated the idea of using tariffs on Chinese goods to generate revenue for the fund, but this approach has been met with skepticism from economists who argue that it could harm American consumers and businesses. Other potential funding mechanisms include taxes on financial transactions, carbon emissions, or the repatriation of corporate profits held overseas. The lack of clarity surrounding the fund's financing has raised concerns about its long-term viability and its potential impact on the federal budget. Critics argue that the fund could become a slush fund for pet projects, lacking transparency and accountability. The creation of a U.S. sovereign wealth fund represents a significant departure from traditional American economic policy. While such funds are commonplace in countries like Norway, Saudi Arabia, and China, the United States has historically relied on issuing treasury debt to finance its spending. This new approach reflects a growing recognition that the United States, despite its economic might, faces increasing competition from countries that have effectively utilized sovereign wealth funds to advance their economic and geopolitical interests. China, in particular, has used its sovereign wealth fund to secure access to natural resources, invest in strategic industries, and expand its influence around the world. The success of the U.S. sovereign wealth fund will depend on a number of factors, including its investment strategy, its governance structure, and the political will to ensure its long-term sustainability. Critics argue that the fund could be vulnerable to political interference, mismanagement, and corruption. They also point to the potential for conflicts of interest, as the fund's managers could be tempted to prioritize political considerations over sound investment decisions. Only time will tell whether the United States can successfully navigate the complex world of sovereign wealth funds, and whether this bold move will ultimately strengthen America's economic and geopolitical standing.